Good evening and welcome to this September edition of the Writers Guild Spoken Word Series. My name is Tony Brewer, and along with Joan Hawkins and Kyle Foss, we are the producers of this series on behalf of the Writers Guild of Bloomington. We're sponsored in part by the Indiana Arts Commission, the Bloomington Arts Commission, and the Bloomington Urban Enterprise Association. The Writers Guild of Bloomington wishes to acknowledge and honor the indigenous communities native to this region and recognize that Indiana University and the city of Bloomington is built on indigenous homelands and resources. We recognize the Miami, Delaware, Potawatomi, and Shawnee people as past, present, and future caretakers of this land. I had a handful of announcements I wanted to relate to you before we get going. Our third Sunday Write is a virtual space where you can find writing prompts in the company of other writers. It's a private Facebook page where you can respond to prompts posted monthly. You may then write and post anytime during the month and offer a response by sharing a line from their piece in the comments. For more information or to join the group, contact Shauna Ritter at shauna747@gmail.com. A couple of Poetry on Demand events coming up. I myself, personally, Tony Brewer, I'm doing Poetry on Demand at the Amethyst House Community Dance coming up on Saturday, September 20th at Harmony School at 909 East 2nd Street. The cookout starts at 6, the dance starts at 8 p.m. This is a free event, $10 suggested donation, but it's a free event. It's in partnership with the Bloomington Old Time Music and Dance Group. The dance caller is Katie Zukoff, and music by Donnie Bradley, Jack Lasky, and Robert McCormick, if you know those folks. You know any of those folks?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, maybe they're too old time.
It could be.
I'm looking forward to it though. That's the Amethyst House Community Dance. Saturday, September 20th. Also, the Writers Guild is going to have a Poetry on Demand and Type-In table at an event, a Lotus Festival event, Lotus at the Library. This is a pre-festival event with interactive visual arts and cultural activities, plus live music. Saturday, September 27th from noon to 4 p.m. at the Monroe County Public Library at 303 East Kirkwood. Donations gleefully accepted for the poems we will be making for you. So there's that. And then last Sunday, poetry reading and open mic. Hiromi hosts that. That is Sunday, September 28th at 7 at Morgenstern Books over there at 849 South Auto Mall Road, featuring poets Peter Kazmarczyk, get that right? Kazmarczyk, and Bruce Kell. Open mic to follow. Sunday, September 28th. And also coming up, the first Sunday prose reading and open mic, which is Sunday, October 5th at 4 o'clock at the Juniper Gallery at 615 West Kirkwood, featuring, if I got these names right, it's Tanya Connerman and Rebecca Schumejda. Yeah. That's the first Sunday prose reading, Sunday, October 5th at 4 at Juniper Gallery. Open mic to follow. And then, next time, next year, next week, next month, right back here, Thursday, October 9th, the Spoken Word Series continues back here at Backspace with our Stormwash Environmental Poems Volume 2 showcase. That is an anthology of environmental poems edited by Hiromi Yoshida. And so that'll be a showcase of writers featured in that anthology. Still working out the music for that one. I think we're going to have music for that one. But that's going to be a big showcase of probably, I'm not sure who all's coming at this point, 20 or 30?
You're going to read it.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So,
Kind of put you on the spot.
right. Maybe about 15 or so.
15 or so, yeah, at this point, yeah. Maybe more, maybe more. So that's it. All this information is available on our website. Just go to writersguildbloomington.com. You can also check us out. You're already there. You're all friends. You're all family. You're all related to me. Just go to Instagram and look for us, or Facebook. We're all there. Or join the, get our newsletter, and you'll find out all this stuff. So I'm thrilled to have two of my favorite poets tonight, Eric Rensberger and Jason Baldinger, two of my favorite poets actually, reading tonight, and one of my favorite singer-songwriters. I've known her for many years. First met you through roller derby way back. Yeah, I know, it's amazing. Way back when we were other people. So I think first I wanted to bring up Ricky Jean, do a couple of songs for us before we have our features. Ricky Jean learned the harsh realities of life at a young age, losing her father at age 5. Growing up in southern Mississippi, life was tough for her. 2 sisters and a widowed mother. Every step of the way seemed to get harder as she cascaded through life, growing confidence with every failure. Ricky managed to put together an album of true grit and the American spirit. Please welcome Ricky Jean.
Hello. Hi there. Hello. I'm gonna put my sunglasses on so I can close my eyes, but pretend I'm not closing my eyes. I had a pick. There it is. I wasn't really sure what the vibe or theme of the night was, so I'm just gonna go with some of my more poetic songs, I guess. Is there a theme of tonight? Do that? No. Okay.
You're the theme.
This is called Looking In. My old dog ran away this evening. I don't blame him, I know the shape I'm in. Lately my fire seems to be burning down. I always seem to be on the outside looking in. That old dog had desire and direction. Now my plans are no good endings. He was full of vigor and ambition. Now my life is aimless, wanting nothing. Well, I went to the pound to see if it had been found. Nobody had seen him or hauled him in. I kept my eyes peeled all the way home. I was afraid to find my dog lying cold dead on the ground. It's been 3 weeks now and he's still never come Yeah, that dumb dog will be on the outside looking in. When I wrote that song, I only had 3 verses, but every time I got to the verse where I found the dog lying dead on the side road, I'd just start crying and crying. And it was not a true story. But I had to add the 4th verse to make it okay. Maybe he's still out there somewhere. Alright. This song, I wrote more recently. It's called Your Pain. It's on a newer album I just made, but I have not been able to upload it to the interwebs yet. But my new album, Scrappy Little Dog, should be out soon in the summer. Where are you running from, darling? What are you doing back there? Come on out and let me listen. You got a story I can tell, and you always did tell me that you never get to love me. I found out what got the best of you. Oh, it's killing me now. And your pain keeps me saying, darling. Oh, your pain turning all the round. Yeah, your pain keeps me sane. You pick me up when I'm down, and I want you to tell me all the secrets keep you up at night. Now I want to ease your sorrow with this all about time, and I can't complain with how I'm feeling. Had a hand in what I'm dealing with. Now I'm here to help me see it through to the end. And your pain keeps me sane, darling. Oh, your pain turning all the round. Oh, your pain keeps me sane. Pick me up when I'm down. Yeah, your pain keeps me sane, darling. Your pain turning all the round. Oh, your pain keeps me sane, honey. You pick me up when I am down. Got it?
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Sure, thank you. So another hand for Ricky Jean. We'll get a full set from her a little later. Thank you. First up, I want to welcome Eric Rensberger. He's been part of the local poetry scene since his move to Bloomington in 1979. He's been published in numerous magazines and anthologies and has published several chapbooks. His latest publication is Notes to Self, Selected Poems. And that's from, is that from Luchador?
Yes.
Is that the, couldn't remember what imprint he had settled on.
I
There's so
couldn't
many.
remember until you said it. I thought, oh my God, he's gonna ask me. But yeah.
Yeah, Luchador Press. And I think that's coming out in like a month or so. Should be coming out soon.
Well, I'll
We'll
address
get into
this.
it. Yeah, we'll get into it later. The bulk of his writing has been devoted to Account of My Days, an ongoing collection of poems not to be confused with a diary. Please welcome Eric Rensberger.
Okay, Ricky, I'm gonna
Yeah,
borrow
sure.
your music stand here.
No problem. It raises
Oh,
straight
you
up
want,
too. Just want to pull up on it. Like this.
It is magic. Okay, so here's the situation. So Notes to Self is available if you go on Amazon, and I was
Same
hoping.
position I'm in.
So-
You're in the same position I'm in on that.
Yeah, here we go. So I was hoping to have some copies here tonight to offer for sale at a steep discount from the Amazon price, but there's issues with shipping and infrastructure and all this sort of stuff, so I don't have any. But if you want to, you can go on Amazon and pay the full price for whatever reason appeals to you. So the intro is kind of the setup for that, for what this is about. So here's what I'm going to read tonight. So I have this like kind of fairly huge archive from writing for many decades now. And I decided several years ago, I'm at the age where I really need to put out a selected poems. And then I procrastinated. But in the last couple of years with Tony's help and a couple other people, I really kind of pushed myself through that, got the book ready to go out into the world, etc., etc. So I made then for 4th Street a couple of weeks ago, I made a selection from the selected poems to read there. I got partway through it and I thought, oh, for tonight, I'll just pick up where I left off at 4th Street and kind of continue from there. That's going to be the bulk of what I read. But first, I'm going to start out with the very first item that's in the book. This is from my first chapbook, which was called Letters, that came out in 1981. And the premise for the book, the conceit, was I don't have any ideas for a poem, so I'll just publish my mail. And so it's in the form of letters to me. You've heard of a word to the wise. This first one is a letter from the wise. Dear Eric, the world could fall to pieces with no notice. Imagine the nation sizzling under bombs big as buildings, or submission and blood become the whole of politics. Picture some bastard microbe creeping amongst the billions, dispelling ease. Personal life, too, could come apart in disaster. Awful car wrecks and stupid accidents will happen no matter what. You might be the one to mishandle a chainsaw or power line. A hell-bent, vengeful hoodlum in some cheap and raucous bar might knife you by mistake. Our advice is limited but wholesome. Don't go anywhere in your car. Keep low when you walk and stay close to cellars and holes. Sterilize your food. Better yet, pack your car with gauze, climb in, have it lowered to the bottom of a hole. Wait there until you hear from us. Okay, now we're going to get into the place where I left off at my set at 4th Street. So this is in, it picks it up somewhere in the middle of Account of My Days, which everything in that sequence is in chronological order from the moment that I created it, which is why I always complain. This isn't really a diary, but Yeah, so the first couple, oh, by the way, I just want to say that I don't know if you've noticed this from my setting it up, but I have a selected poems out, right? And then I made this selection from the selected poems, and now I'm reading you a selection from the selection of the selected. So we are very much in meta world. The first two poems I'm going to read, or the next two poems I'm going to read, are both about the same place. I want to give you a little background about that. I don't usually set up my poems a huge amount, but these sort of require it. There's a place called Beck's Mill, which is down by Salem in Washington County, and it's a site of human habitation for probably thousands of years because there's a giant spring up the side of a hill that comes gushing in a little stream down the hill, which is very attractive to humans of any sort with any kind of culture or technology. So probably the ancestors of the Miamis settled there in the historical era of the Miami. This was like part of the Miami's area. And when the ethnic cleansing and violence and warfare started happening out on the East Coast, there were some refugees that came into the Midwest, some Delaware peoples. And the Miamis very generously said, well, here's a spot. It's kind of plentiful area, little hills and farmlands and this big giant fucking spring. So they settled there. There's even a mound that they believe is kind of, they were there long, the Delawares were there long enough that they had a little cemetery for their loved ones that was on the scene. And then the settlement from the east moved into this part of the world and pushed all of the Native Americans out. One of the settlers involved was a guy named William Beck, who was a Revolutionary War veteran who had been granted that land in lieu of actual payment for his services during the war. He finds the spot, sees the spring, and goes, great, perfect place to set up a grist mill, which it was. So he and a couple generations after him built and ran a grist mill there using the water to power a water wheel. And when I first stumbled across it, it was still kind of in ruins. It hadn't been used for decades. And there was a 19th century version of the grist mill that was sitting there. It's now been rehabbed and prettied up. And there's a little trail by the side of the grist mill that you can take up to a little hill where there's a family cemetery for William Beck and his descendants. And then a little up and back from that, when they were cleaning the place up and rehabbing everything, they found some just plain stones with no engraving on it. And they figured out that, oh, this is the graves of the slaves that William Beck brought with him. Because when Indiana was a territory before it was a state, it was legal to bring your slaves with you. So, you know, if you just think about the thing I've just outlined, that's what I find amazing about that place. It's just this tight little spot which has encapsulated the remnants of really important history of the habitation of this area and things that have happened. So, so I've got a poem that's just about sort of like looking at the place and the things around it and resonating. And then a second one that is just about going specifically up to the seminary and just thinking. Beck's Mill. Stands of corn, fields of grass, and tall flowers, purple, white, yellow, spread up the rounded valley sides. Tracts of trees and deeper forest around, and no one looking on from the tree's edge. No one sees the labor in the fields and the workers' slow drag home. No one's hand has drawn up through the dirt the stones that hinder plows, and no one hollowed the earth with sinkholes and creased it with creek beds. No one stands in the fine night sky watching the good rest of farms and forest in the cool hours. No one has slipped away to the fallen mill's gray boards, broken rooms stacked with moonlight and shadow. No one's creaking in the rafters above. No one stands nearby in white light on the grave mound for sorrows without name. The exiles ran here and will run again. No one followed them. No one stayed behind. No one is coming up from far away tonight, holding shells, sharpened stones, and other gifts that shine in no one's seeing. And then, thank you. So encouraging. This afternoon, I walked over the cemetery to the oldest part at the back end and higher, where the weeds had been knocked down and the bare field stones on the slave graves looked like shoulder blades sticking up. Their names, their birth, their sorrows, wrongs, and work, and wonder, and words for it, and mouths to speak, minds to call back and look forward, what they built and carried and knew, what was in their pockets or whispered back at them with a smile before sleep, and their names are in a register closed to me. The stones are sticking up. Someone has cut the vines back and brought down the saplings. Sun and shade go by in turns. Birds fly over on their way not far to an unseen shelter. When I hear the cars over on the road go by, it sounds like someone's life slowly escaping. There you go. You can keep encouraging me, or you can hold the encouragement to the end. I don't care, but I'm glad you did that just now. This is a prose poem, which I always tell people is actually just, I write a paragraph and then I call it a prose poem, but wildness comes back. The wild in America is contained, pushed back, owned by the people as a public treasure for all time. Thus, it is separated from us and our settlements so that America can possess its wildness and be free from it, well ordered. But the wildness comes back. In the abandoned pastures and on the rock ledges made by highway cuts, cedar saplings appear and then come up in crowds. Along the old fence rows and in carelessly tended alleys, trash trees, sumac, tree of heaven, spring out. Scavenger animals multiply. Certain birds find the suburbs and cities to their liking. Cracks in the asphalt or cement breed greenery suppressed elsewhere. The dumps draw colorful vermin to their feast. And the wildness takes over new types of habitat, as when the vines cover abandoned shacks and trailers and the rodents shelter there. It takes on new forms that we don't at first recognize as the wild asserting itself. Toxins and meth labs, birth anomalies and addictions, unchecked wealth confronted by ever larger desires. These are wild. These are crawling over and under our safe buildings. We are crazy for guns. We have an insatiable desire for power, control, security. The law devours wildly. Contempt for losers is a wild passion. Money is the wildest thing of all. We make the largest explosions the world has ever known because the wildness is in us. We vote for it, we consume it, it eats away at us. It is the terror our eyes see everywhere, and we can't stop our hearts beating too fast, our breath coming out in shouts. We have a wild, violent desire to get a peace so endless it seems natural to do anything we can think of to obtain it. More Indiana history. Does anybody in the room know Greens Bluff? It's kind of over in Owen County, just, okay, there's some hiker there. It's a really interesting place, got a lot of natural scenery, and the remnants of an old grist mill that was set by a creek that where the building is no longer there. And this was written after a walk around there. Some event, oh, and it was a like early wintertime walk, so there had been a light snow. Some events. Some flakes on the way down stopped by and therefore piled up along the fine branches, outlining the lacing of the woods running up and down the hills and into the ravines. The square, empty shell of the grist mill's foundation walls opens to the clear or greenish water of Raccoon Creek that rose and twice killed the mill till the old man wouldn't rebuild but wouldn't leave the land either. So he lived on it till he died and left that way. If you park by the stone angel in the corner of the cemetery, the walk on the muddy old road over to the track going down and across the face of the bluff under the hemlocks, then creekside to the ruins, takes 20 minutes. Okay, this next one is kind of my bad habit of writing about writing. And so it's kind of set up like this, where each line is, in theory, its own stanza. A theory of lines. Wind bent by the objects it surrounds. Comfortable by the grave of empty space. Each one admits something the others don't. Said another way, none can contain it all. From before dawn till deep dark, I run a line through one day. My voice is a thread that goes only so far before breaking. The earth's slow curve is expressed on the great plains by a flat line of horizon. In cities buried unknown beneath mounds, lines still living were first spoken. The lines come out of order, and I try to straighten them. My failings and furies will end, and the lines remain. Jet trails mark the sky, the page fills with lines, and so on, and there we go. Little drama introduced into the reading there at the end of it. This next one's a seasonal thing for the season that we are about to enter. Last cricket. In the hickory's crown, a host of yellow has settled. Endless time has entered the room. Not all lanes remain open. The way I must go is set. The cricket, in his bed of leaves, soothes one's loneliness a bit, as he did all summer. I wait in the still dark, one sound and then another. I have this habit of writing myself a birthday poem on or near my birthday every year. My birthday is on August 25. So the title of this one is a date given in numerals, 8/25/09. Oh, and it starts out with a little factoid that my grandmother told me when I asked her, do you remember the day I was born? So, 8/25/09. It was hot like this, my first day too. Chickens expired in their coop, that's what she said. People consoled themselves with the thought of September. The clouds, which refused us rain, were said to be the most beautiful of the summer as they sailed by. I couldn't put anything into words. I was all about sensation and flapping my arms around. Having no place to keep memories, I was likely to forget the day as soon as it happened, Nor could I look ahead and imagine that tomorrow would be a better day or a worse one. No one could teach me a thing. Probably I cried wholeheartedly and ate and shat and slept. The sleep would have been the same as waking. No difference between things I dreamed and things I saw, all unformed, too new to be bizarre. There, I would have said to myself if I had had speech or a self to speak to. That's number one. And now on to number two, or whatever it is that's next. There. Thank you. I appreciate that. This one is, 6th Street is not mentioned, but we're on 6th Street, and this is about 6th Street. Local history. Walking to the Monroe County Public Library, the sidewalk under crab trees still spotted with stains from last autumn's fruit, 1 empty store, 3 still occupied. All the windows receive and then lose images of those passing by. Next block, 1874, colored school. 1915, Carnegie Library, colored school gone. 1970, library moves. 1980, Monroe County History Center and Museum, swallows Carnegie Library. All this is documented on signs on metal poles. Then the plain geometry of the parking lot, and at the corner overhung by kind trees, the benches where the homeless guys spend part of their day, not too often letting out some wounded sarcasm at one of those passing by on his way to the Monroe County Public Library. I'm going to close with this one. And I don't think, the only thing I need to say about it in terms of setting it up is at the end somewhere, I refer to my kind. I want to be clear, when I say my kind, I mean a human being, so. Tender. When the fire sinks low, a little stirring helps, or blowing bent over at its root of coals. The fire rises over itself again. The fire is made of its fuel and my knowledge of fire. Half moon, first star, I wish for those I love the best of fates, or failing that, for courage. The cooling after sunset air slides from the grassy ridge downhill through the trees. I sit with my back to it and listen to the early spring carousal of peepers. The night begins to flourish with stars, and I think how bloodroot, golden seal, and maidenhair have all come up today, and wonder when it was that someone of my kind began to learn to tend a fire, how many thousands of years ago, and how it was most likely the fire itself that taught him so, if only he held attention close on it all night. Thank you very much.
Another hand for Eric Rensberger, folks. We'll have to have you back when the book is in hand.
Yes, absolutely.
So probably next year sometime. I'll help you.
I think the logjam has actually been complete,
Has it
and
been?
my copies are coming.
Really?
So,
Well,
I got that email today.
And I got one guy out in Massachusetts said, "Oh, I got my copy."
Oh, wow, okay.
Other states are a blank slate.
SOL,
so-
yeah. All right. Well, anyway, looking forward to it. Next, I want to welcome a good friend of mine, Jason Baldinger, Jason is a poet and photographer from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is the co-editor of Trailer Park Quarterly and co-runs the Odd Month reading series. He's penned 20 books of poetry, the newest of which includes American Aorta from OAC Books and Waiting on Hummingbirds with Kansas poet James Benger, their fourth together. His first book of photography, Lazarus, from OAC Books, was released in 2023. His photography can also be found in the ekphrastic collaboration Hope is a Prison with poet Rebecca Schumejda. Yeah, I got it.
You got it. You're in there.
Also from OAC Books. And The Night Window from Fu Treachery is probably one of my favorite imprint titles, Fu Treachery. His poems and photos have appeared across a wide variety of online sites and print journals. They also grace the cover of my book, Pity for Sale. Was that your first?
You were,
Probably not.
I think, my first cover,
Okay,
yes.
fantastic, yeah. So he also graces his first book cover, which is my book, Pity for Sale. You can hear him read from various books on Bandcamp and on LPs by the Gotobeds and Theremonster. Please welcome Jason Baldinger.
I'm Jason Baldinger. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm on a little mini tour that I've been calling Go Tell It to the Armadillo. So I made it as far as Kansas City and now I'm on my way back. There is a Louisville band from the late 90s, early 2000s called Freakwater. They had a line that's, I languished in the Midwest like some old romantic fool. Feels like what the last 10 years have been. This is a palomino and a bowl snake. It's from my collected or selected A History of Backroads Misplaced. A palomino and a bull snake. There were 4 water towers on the Salina skyline. More than 10 rooms with private bath where I've stayed. I've lived the last couple of days on gin and tequila. There's been no need to hit the brakes over the last 80 miles. It feels like I'm barnstorming a prairie fire. The longest train I ever saw was in Amarillo. That was before today, although it may have been Sheridan. Amarillo is 400 miles south. Sheridan is a palomino and a bull snake away. In the distance, there's a storm stuck over Topeka. I've seen so much big sky and empty plains, it makes me want to swing north for the Badlands. I could make Rapid City by morning. Yesterday, I learned that Mexican buffet are the 2 most perfect words in the English language. And as I left, I noticed the only graffiti on the men's room wall, "My asshole is burning." Except the S's were faint. They've been corralled to some Baptist ranch in the sky where profanity is still the devil's tongue. Yesterday, I learned I could turn breadcrumbs into bluebirds. If I head north and gun it to Nebraska, I'm gonna try my luck turning motels into buffalo. So we're gonna start in Kansas and slowly make our way back across the Midwest. There's a lot of Indiana poems in here because I'm pandering a little bit. All right. Next poem is called Beckmeyer, Illinois, 1958. It's for the Kansas poet Roy Beckmeyer. We usually headed to Shoal Creek. Once I got older, it was Carlisle Lake. We'd find a dark alcove, toss our lines from shore. Sometimes we'd use a boat, listen while the bow cut the water, and my dad would tell us again how it was working in the mines, about everyone's brother or uncle gone, about the cave-ins and explosions, of how they lost a leg or a hand, maybe if they were lucky, only a finger. And as I got older, I took this as a reminder to get out of town, to not let the mines take me down. Fuck, I listened. He would tell me again about my grandfather, a machine runner, how he was running an air puncher when a ton of slate came down on him. It shattered his back. They dug him out and took him to St. Louis, but it was too late. He was already gone. No matter how many times he told that story, the hair on my neck stood up. The helmets we used on those nights were taken from the mines. I wondered then if the light that shone above me was the last light my grandfather had ever seen. Moving on to American Aorta. John Dorsey was supposed to be here, and he sends his love, but he's not feeling well. And this poem was written for John Dorsey in the El Bronco Bar, Richmond, Indiana. Chill as fuck across Gossamer, Ohio, through an endless western sunset. Babe, I'm sorry it was you Cancer took to the prom. When friends hear you're together, they freeze in existential headlights. Brother, I'm sorry grief doles out shitty drunk lap dances, no care if those ducats ever roost in a G-string. John, I promise fried chicken and all the world-shaking doom allows in less than a Waffle House day. I'll be on the horn to Gus as soon as I kill the engine in the Sky High Pie parking lot. Maplewood is an armadillo away. Over dinner the other night, I said magic and loss. It's something I say often in and out of context. And a friend replied, with enough time served, magic doesn't hold sway over the ocean of loss we worship at now. And I can't say I disagree. Except the waitress who calls me amigo like I've never left, just delivered a grande margarita. And in the hum of 300 easy miles and the shine of tequila, I won't want to buy a camper. But I have the receipt for a short walk in lights between Speedway and Meyer, lights that stretch from here as far as Midwest wherever. You know, I'll be there soon. Painkillers and double shift towns. She works mornings at Kroger's, cashier, bringing orders, everyone else she went to high school with, everyone else that got stuck. She leaves her daughter at daycare. Later, grandmother picks up granddaughter afternoons after her job, takes her home, plants her in front of the TV. She leaves Kroger for evening shifts, waiting at the barbecue pit downtown. Her grandmother falls asleep while granddaughter plays in front of the TV. Morgan's raid, like the Civil War, came to nothing. The men in this town are trash. They stink of failure found under the thumb of the American dream. We all know it's bullshit, but have you ever tried to convince yourself out of some kind of propaganda? She's all eyes on me as I finish my second beer. I've been sleeping on the ground all week. I like the attention. She rests her hip on my shoulder, pronounces my name off-card flirting. She has the giggles. And I debate a moment, waking up in a room disheveled in that 2 jobs and single mom way, and that she'll never catch up way. And I think about her pouring cereal and milk, trying to get her daughter to eat before rushes for drop-offs. Another day of a pair of shifts, another day too tired, work and TV and sleep automation. I'll tuck my wallet, shuffle out the front door. She's on the steps next to the cook, overwhelmed and crying. I spend the night counting spiders in O'Bannon's woods. In the morning, I'll follow this river west through painkillers and double shift towns. The Ohio River is only water. It can't save anyone. James Benger and I wrote this book, Waiting on Hummingbirds. As Tony said, our 4th together. I'm going to read you a couple poems from it. So first up is, I'm going to do that, or I'm going to do that first. Let's do Howard Johnson prayer. Nothing has a right being this beautiful. In the mighty exhale of crossing the heartland again, the chill that saturates post-Labor Day, the sun already a victim, but there are no stars in this fenced pool parking lot watering hole with logos looming and billboards crowing and traffic blowing past, headlights through honeycomb and the interstate close enough to hear it whinny at the horizon. Another outlaw moment, flat earth and floodplain, 250 miles and 25 milligrams waiting on the corn stalks to colonize these temples. Cold blue water steals as it reinforces this essence. I float on dreams that stretch middle Mississippi to Machu Picchu. I float a black and white dream, memories of a dark sky, meditation. It's thirsty work up here, I have to tell you. It's always thirsty work. Across grayscale scrub, I felt the ocean rolling in blood for the last month. The timelessness of tradition grows into a throb until highways dismantle, the rattle of traffic, chunks of pavement disappear into salt air, into the crash of waves, into the approximate or infinite. And with the moonrise, it'll all look different. Boardwalk lights fade to constellation, and somehow 8 years run across the horizon as one moment, heat lightning brain meets cold air deepening. I still have my prayers, maybe more than ever, left in the sand, pulled back by the tide. I have a year to dissolve, trusting that time is water soluble. Horseshoe crab shells moored, sand prints across motel carpet, across grayscale scrub, another sunset in the side view, another sunrise witnessed, another year piles on, graceless, listening to waves break, across the highways, through the heartland, along the shore. All right, let's talk about some ekphrastic work. Let's start with James Benger. So if you buy Waiting on Hummingbirds or anything else, I'll give you this little broadside photo I took in Matewan, West Virginia. It has James's poem, Look Out for the Locomotive, on the back. And here's the poem. This is James Benger's work. A sign as pointless as this life, he thinks approaching the tracks. Tattered pack on back, beer can empty of liquid, full of fresh butts in one hand, a fresh but not cold one in the other. His hands don't tremble as much as they have lately, but then they rarely do this time of evening, after the scorching sun has taken her thumb off the backs of those not blessed with air conditioning. He walks to the center of the tracks, right in front of the sign, sits down on the decaying ties, plops his aluminum ashtray in gravel, and takes a long swig of the cheapest beer on the bottom shelf. Life isn't always so bad, he thinks, lying down between the rusted rails. There's always some magic about passing the time this way, and it's not only the potential danger, but it's that too. He lights a fresh one, takes a long drag, rests his head in his hands, and thinks of anything. So Becky and I wrote this poem, this book called Hope is a Prison. My photos, mostly from an abandoned prison in Pennsylvania, and then her words. So the photo for this is a Bible on a rostrum in an abandoned prison chapel, and the poem is called Last Rites. The last time I heard my father's voice was when my grandmother was transitioning in hospice. We were gathered around her bed saying our goodbyes when her son called from prison collect to encourage her to ask for the Lord's forgiveness. While death rattled in her throat, I looked out the window. A stray cat battered around a bluebird. My grandmother dismissed religion long before I was born, but kept a crucifix in her nightstand drawer. She had a stray cat husband who held my father like a feather between his teeth. She looked out the same window, then at me as my father yammered on about redemption. Or maybe she didn't look out the window. Maybe I just wanted her to. The last time she spoke directly to me was the day before her son was sentenced. Just tell the truth, that he didn't really hurt you. She begged. Just tell the truth. Last of the ekphrastic poems. As Eric said, we're having a little book distribution issue right now, so this book should be here too. It's called The Night Window with Kansas poet Robert Dean. This photo is a telephone booth, broken phone hanging upside down, covered in shrubbery, and the poem is called The Hang Up by Wichita poet Robert Dean. They hear it in Ohio, Pennsylvania, the cotton fields of Llano Estacado, the gator lands of South Florida, the bottom of Crater Lake. Tsunami warning sirens across the Pacific, 3 mountains in the Hindu Kush implode, bloodstains, your connection to civilization. You didn't know Bakelite could cut so deep. It's 1983, and she's told you not to call here again. No matter if you're lost in the woods in Hicksville or wherever, falling off a cliff, sinking in quicksand, goodbye, good riddance, good God. Hasn't she had enough? Haven't you? And here you are, 4 decades, 3 divorces, 2 heart attacks, and 6 grandkids later. A middle of nowhere return. Sanity hanging by a thread. You wish you could pick it up, put it back together, punch the right numbers, say, I'm sorry. Wondering, isn't this life funny? How you found it again, how this thing is still here, your anger, your hang-up, if only you'd known. Leaves rustle, wind blusters in an open window. You start the car, head for the interstate, that lunatic asylum you saw in Weston, shuttered now. Tourists and ghost hunters only, poems of the lost tattooed on therapy room walls. You happen to have a crayon on you. In the rear view, the phone rings. When I thank Tony and Your Brother's Book, or I'm not, that was last night I was at Your Brother's Books. This is Backspace. There we go. I know where I am. I fucked up in Kansas City a few years ago and called it Missouri, or no, I was in Kansas on the Missouri side. Yeah, you know, it happens. You're all waiting for it. No big deal. All right, Champagne Velvet. I'm sure y'all drank Champagne Velvet when you were younger. 200,000 gallons of Champagne Velvet. A waterfall, a boom that fills tunnels to the Wabash with steam and horses. Men and animals function as machines underground in a maze catacomb of steam, centuries captured out where cow towns meet the Rust Belt. And a steak bleeds across my plate, washed down, champagne, velvet, and classy. A woman seated behind me, loud as the Peterbilt queen of nowhere, tells her bibbed and tattooed potato brother that she finally had enough. She's finally leaving her husband. And I hear strain and tension, hops and ivy across her voice. You know, I've waited so long to hear you say that. And their conversation dials into hushed tones and static, into the seedy remains of prosperity and promise, of steam dispersed and catacombs closed. The Wabash River flows, white limestone and muscle memory. Thanks so much. Yeah, we're all right. Hard time eyes. 3 Confederate skeletons molder through a dogwood night. 2nd Avenue lights shine from downtown Oasis past where motels go to pasture and green corn begins its rise. 3 Confederate skeletons, gray hairs growing down the backs of kiss tees, baggy jeans printed with Ohio River mud. They double time it back to camp past the Cadillac Motel and halfway house. Mutton warms on the fire, graybacks burning in their pocket, old Jeff Davis's eyes wide after a taste. Jesus fucking Christ, the South will rise again. 3 Confederate skeletons pass, the woman at the liquor store stashes moonshine pints as Victor, announced by doorbell, asks for a bottle of wine. She looks at him with hard time eyes. Honey, I don't know a goddamn thing about no wine. A People's History of Williamson, West Virginia. We could have gone to the prom with the Coal House girls. Crushed red velvet dresses, color drawn richer in humidity. They wait for dreams and corsages to die like Romeo and Juliet. Instead, we holed up in a burned-out department store, rechristened junk shop, sifting boxes of 10-cent black and white photos, watching A People's History of Williamson, West Virginia as a remaindered flip book. Camera flash illuminates moments heads crane above the surface, a new used car sitting in pea gravel under a pawpaw, the sun shining off the canal as she sat neatly on a picnic bench. Smoking uncles, messy rubber-legged toddlers, beehived aunts, gaunt Halloween witches, cold black-faced miners carrying lunches in gunny sacks. Not one graduation in sight. No one ever actually smiling, only distance red in eyes focused on the ledge of another mountain range. These boxes never rescued. Sepia acid-stained wash or rusted pipe drained. 8 lanes of train tracks that led out of town now left to oxidize. Burnt sienna memories, color-faded ghosts on photo paper alone. All right. What do we got here? Like 3 or 4 more for you, if that's all right. This is a postcard from Luke, Maryland. We were honeymooners, weekend lovers dabbling in magic as we started down that deep gorge decline from the top of Backbone Mountain. And maybe you said it out loud, under your breath. Maybe I just heard you thinking it. I love you. The Potomac never visible, only the rock-faced wall painted 24 or more white crosses. The diesel smoke casualties, the twisted metal unlucky who gave their lives to a mighty highway bend, leaving tire marks and bloodstains for the rain to make of as it chooses. Your voice sucked back in as we crossed into West Virginia before turnarounds to Allegheny County. Those crosses roll over your eyes, graphics in a slot game gone awry. We pulled in for a pizza at the Civil War Hospital on the other side of Savage Mountain, silent and still as cannon smoke. All right, this is a train whistle prayer. I left my dead bird moccasins somewhere around Rabbit Hash. That was about 150 river miles ago, or 1 lawn jockey ago. You know, Mr. Fish, the coyotes came on us fast. We never got to make the outline of a sunset. Blood in a sky turned a pink moon red, and the Ohio River never got the balls to ask the Poplick monster to the prom. Dogwoods were blooming when you drove her to the clinic. She knew this would all be illegal sooner than enough, and that's all she had left, little more than enough. It's a hard scramble life on this river. The ghosts of mountains, the covens of flood walls, the beauty church of Christ carpet runs as a grainy film. Cryptids inhabit our dreams. Darling, rest assured. I know that Heron King is waiting. I know his favorite snag. And maybe if I bellow a train whistle prayer or toss him some mighty catfish whose whiskers stretch across the expanse of a river bend, maybe that offer can score us something like forgiveness. All right, Johnstown poem, and then a haiku, and then I'm gonna step away and give you more music or open mic or whatever happens next. You know better than I do, actually. So this is called A Flood City Fable. If you know the poet Damien Rucci, this is for him and some of his crew. It's after the first summer day in April in 100 years. Cambria City scavenges, Roseland drops another letter, the little Conema hums all the things that you are. Joe passed coal dust fingers across floodwater strings. This is Rust Belt Appalachia, born to the trauma of gone. We give directions here and used to be. We know all we may ever own are our memories. I've been hot and gone since I was old enough to see through the bullshit. Watch landmarks slip through fingers like time served on an interstate. And when the wire harness in my spine went haywire, I slowly transitioned to ghost. Now I'm not sure I know what corporeal means. I used to be there though, hunting the moment, Scrape the resin off, live story to story, audience to audience, last night on Earth to last night on Earth, legendary in the moments we were taught never to keep. You've come to the mountain, maybe not looking for salvation, looking for breath, out in the stagnant water on the spent cap frontier, this lost world of Flood City. Maybe you leveled up because you found the last live wire in Cambria County, a third rail rusted under floodplain. You found joy, and even if that lasts 1 second, brother, it glows legendary through this long, winding darkness. Tumbleweeds stall in Gazebo Park, Washington streetlights horror blink, Stone Bridge blue hues scream with the drowned and the burning, and I shake hell out of my head, say a prayer on the Puerto Rican girls who keep our pulse, give my vision to the bright of the sheets highway at night. Fuck it, brother. We were never promised there'd be anything left tomorrow. There's nothing left but this moment. A second streaking past in the side view. We learned about legends. The moment occupied, electric through time. A moment perfect, where nobody remembers your fucking name. There's a haiku artist from Pittsburgh named Bart Solarczyk, who passed away a couple years ago. This is a haiku for him. I urge you to check out Bart Solarczyk's work. This will be my last poem. It's a long journey, brother. Wind blown between beers. Crows guide our way. Thank you so much.
Jason Baldinger, folks. Always a pleasure. I want to welcome back up our musical guest now, Ricky Jean. He's going to do a set for us. Ricky Jean.
I won't mess with her space.
I didn't know I'd be sharing it. We're talking stuff wrong. Alright, I did just put new strings on this guy. Portrait. The song I wrote is called Seraphim, and it stays, I wrote this a while back, but it stays true to today, and I was kind of going through a ballad. I really wanted to write ballads a lot, so this is probably one of my better ones. And I enjoyed very much what you said about the Native Americans being in this area before, and it's kind of my ode to that, and I hope it doesn't come off as like cringe, because I do a bit of some wailing in here, and I just do it from my heart, but anyway, I'll get into it. It's called Seraphim, like the angels closest to heaven, to God, I guess. ex-husband now. I wrote just a few songs about that, divorce. And this one, I was living in a little camper by the river on the Ohio at my uncle's river camp. Too many of those divorce songs, but so I wrote a lot of songs that were kind of like on that note, but I've been trying to get better. Like when I first started writing music, I was writing really funny, kind of goofy songs, and then it just kind of evolved in the sad country, and then outlaw country, and then ballads, and so I'm trying to get back into like not so sad all the time. And this song is like memories I had of my dad taking us boating when I was a kid. So I grew up in Mississippi, and he used to take us down to this lake called Paul B. Johnson. Daddy's in side of the boat. He says, hang on tight, darling, 'cause daddy ain't going slow. It was a beautiful day down at the lake. Such a beautiful, wonderful day at the lake. There's a lyric in that. It's we're driving, and about halfway down that lake, there was this big, creepy looking house with the vines and that moss and the trees, and she had 2 coffins on the top of her house. And I swore we always were like, there's the lady with the coffins. And then I like figured out that some people had like skylight money. This next song. My niece lived with me, and she just turned 18. She's doing great now, but those teenage years were pretty rough. And she was like such a good kid. You'd talk to her when she was little, and she'd be like, you know, if you cussed around her, she'd be like, oh my God, that's inappropriate, don't talk like that in front of me. And then her sister died in a house fire, and about a week later, she was dropping F-bombs at the end of every sentence and was getting kicked out of school all of a sudden, and it was just a struggle. But she's doing much better now. But I wrote this song kind of in the dark pit of it. It's called Blue Coyote. Shelter dogs. I started singing a lot of dog songs. I'm gonna go with a song called Meditation. This song, is when you have a toddler and a baby, and then the world crumbles to pieces, and you're not allowed to leave your house anymore, and you don't know if everybody's gonna die or what's happening, and then it just keeps going on and on and on, and you have to figure out this thing called meditation. Meditation. Okay. forward to that. And I think I might try a love song here. This is like my only love songs I got. It's called my Viking song. Oh, my baby, my sweet darling, I love you, I sincerely do. When our eyes meet in the evening, I fall more in love with you. You are my fortress, and I need shelter. You always keep me safe and warm. When the ambush giant bears down, you stand tall right by my side. Oh, my baby, my sweet darling, I love you, I sincerely do. When eyes meet in the evening, I fall more in love with you. We ride through this huge dark forest till we make it ocean side. We sail together across the ocean tide, be together for all of time. Oh, my baby, my sweet darling, I love you, I sincerely do. When eyes meet in the evening, I fall more in love with you. We find a new place, a farm and pasture, harvest in the pale moonlight. I find honor, I see virtue, be a wedded bride. Oh, my baby, my sweet darling, I love you, I sincerely do. Just as the ocean leaves the ocean tide, our bond will never be untied. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause for Ricky Jean. We're gonna take a short break. We're gonna take about a 10-minute break, have some snacks, refresh your drink. Be sure to check out the merch table. Jason Baldinger has several publications for sale. Come back and we'll do the open mic. If you haven't signed up, the sign-up sheet is back there on that music stand back there. Come back in about 10 minutes for the open mic. Thank you so much. Thanks once again to our fantastic features, Eric Rensberger and Jason Baldinger. And also thanks to our musical guest, Ricky Jean. She'll take us out with a final song here at the end of the night. But first, time for the open mic. And first up is Molly.
Thank you for that. So I used to live in China. Actually, I've lived in a lot of different places because I was an English teacher, something I can't believe I once did. Anyway, so this is a piece that came out of that, and I call it Asshole. After breaking my arm in Inner Mongolia, a province in China, which is a story in and of itself and one for another time, I went back to Chongqing where I was working. My friends Yong Fu Chun and Ji Ling insisted that I go to the hospital, so they took me to the best, Red Army Hospital number 1. I found out I needed an operation to put metal rings around my 4 broken bones in my upper arm. Observe the badass scar. Wow. I'm very proud of this scar, yeah. I spent 11 days recovering in a semi-private room in the ICU, which is unheard of in China. Usually you're put in a room with 6 or 8 other people and their sundry relatives who are responsible for providing food and care to their family members. No such thing as hospital food in China. No such thing as socialized medicine either. Yang Fu-chan had to call my parents in the middle of the night, US time, to get them to send money before I could be anesthetized. It is with good reasons that the Chinese are typically frugal. There is simply no safety net for them. They pay for disaster out of pocket. In any case, I stayed in that little room, my Chinese friends taking good care of me. I remember I had no appetite, I couldn't sleep at night, and I couldn't shit. This last became a concern, so eventually Jiling asked a nurse for a remedy. She came back with a handful of little capsules I was supposed to stick up my ass. Dismay set in. I had broken my right arm and I'm right-handed. I doubted I could find my asshole under the best of circumstances, never mind my current state. Jiling took charge. In the bathroom across the hall, I turned my bare bum to her. She squatted down and on her haunches, as only the Chinese can do, and said, "Is this it?" I don't know, I wailed. Eventually, Jiling found my asshole, suppositories were inserted, and I took a shit. What a chum, what a friend. Later, I was telling my uncle about this episode, and he said rather disparagingly, "You don't know where your asshole is?" This was funny, I thought, coming from a gay man.
Thanks, Molly. Thank you for that charming travelogue. Next, please welcome Hiromi Yoshida.
All right, I'm going to read just one poem from Green Roses Bloom for Icarus. Thank you always to Jody for learning this book for me. After that, this is going to be rather serious. This is my poem about 9/11, and today happens to be 9/11, so I will read this one. It's called God Wind. The planes deliberately collided into the World Trade Center. North and south towers, like steel-winged Icarus, twinned, burning. Kamikaze crashed into decimation, the shredded paper gods shedding green pennies and white hair. The Manhattan skyline was a smoggy plexiglass altar where dreams were sacrificed to the rising sun. That smirking bastard. Pedestrians coughed, gagged, and the foretaste of Phoenix ash. Black stench of needless apocalypse clogged nostrils, resurrection and unwritten movement, drifting on wayward Godwind.
Thanks, Hiromi. Next, Antonia Matthew.
Yeah, I think so. I think I got that right. Thank
Yeah.
you. In a class I'm taking online, we were given a prompt from a poem by the I forget, I can't read with my glasses on. We were given a prompt from the part of a poem by Andrea Gibson, that the poem reads, "All the good in you." When all the good in you starts arguing with all the bad in you about who you really are, never let the bad in you make the better statement. And for some weird reason, this is what I came up with in response to that prompt. The good in me / the bad in me makes me think of vegetables. We might say, that's a good-looking tomato, or that peach looks overripe, but they're not always one or the other, not always completely edible or inedible. Take potatoes, spuds as we call them back home. Some have little green spikes growing up through their skin, some spikes even beginning to leaf out. We're instructed not to eat those, to cut them out, so I do. And also told to scoop out any brownness in the spud, which I do. Then what I have is an odd-shaped good spud that I bake, and a pile of unwanted spud pieces, not all good or all bad. The diminished spud I smother in butter, sprinkle with salt, and eat, somewhat satisfied. The pile of unwanted spud pieces I add to the composter, which in good time will become good soil for more spuds to be planted, grow, dug up, and eaten, and this is about living and dying, and transformation, not good or bad.
Awesome, thank you, Antonia. Next, please welcome Daisy Butler.
I'm a little nervous. I haven't read publicly since I had to in college. I had to write a poem, and I didn't realize my professor would submit it to this thing called Poetry on the Green, and I had to read in front of most of the campus. So, but this one isn't for me. It's for the people that are in it. Nobody cares. My name is Angela. I'm going to a new foster home. I wonder if they'll let me stay. Dad is so nice, he's taking me for ice cream. Except it looks like a motel. I think he lost his way. Be a good girl, maybe it's a dream. I never knew the price of ice cream. Nobody had ever taken me before today. Later, we'll go to church to pray. I met a friend there and told her about ice cream. A loud ring, the preacher is on the phone. They're taking me away. They say I was lying, that foster kids are prone to it. My cycle never came. They tell me I'm with child, that I'll be in this group home quite a while. Take your prenatal, try not to scream. I'm bleeding, it hurts to the bone. Why won't anyone help me? A nice worker came to tell me it was a medicine to get rid of what grew in my womb. I hate ice cream and I've never even had it. Nobody cares. My name is Emery. They finally found me foster parents. I wonder if they'll like me. Foster brother sneaks in late at night, don't put up a fight. They'll never believe you, he whispers through a hollow glare. Months go by until something within me grew. I couldn't hide it forever, and eventually they knew. It's so dark, I can't see any light. They're arguing. We can't hide an abortion. What do? We'll say she lied. It hurts so bad, no help in sight. I named her Mary. She arrived in that cold, dark room. Dad, why are you turning my baby blue? The tears begin to slide as my baby is swept away in the tide. They're taking me away. They say I'm lying. All foster kids misconstrue. and nobody cares. My name is Hope. I'm getting out of this group home today. I can't wait. I shared a room with 2 girls and we took care of 3 babies. I never saw so many babies in one place that seemingly vanished without a trace. I hope my new parents like me. Foster mom leaves town for work often. My dad hurts me worse than the last. He isn't happy until I'm hurting to the core. He leaves me broken like a toy from the past. I like to lay on the cold floor. It helps when I'm really sore. My heart, it's racing so fast. I hope Dad didn't see the fruit that I bore. He's angry, yelling, abortion is illegal and I won't go to jail. They'll show me no grace. I can't breathe. Stop, Dad, I can't breathe anymore. I'll tell them I ran away, one more gasp. I won't even get a coffin. I hold my belly close as the water fills my lungs. I love you, little one, but this world is rotten and nobody cares. My name is Anna. I'm 10 years old. I'm going to a new group home today. My caseworker is so mad. You shouldn't have seduced that worker, Anna. Where will those girls go if they get shut down? She's right, it's all my fault. I should have done something to bring it to a halt. Her solemn frown and just permanent scars on my heart. There are many other pregnant girls who all look so sad. I felt him kick today and realized I'm no longer alone. Over the days, girls disappear without a word. The men came for me, it must be my turn. One final push and his cry is the most beautiful sound. I reach for him as he is quickly torn from the cord. I fought and I fought. I still pray for him every day, the good Lord. It's been 20 years, and that invisible cord is still there, though miles apart, linking me to him wherever he is in the world. Nobody cares. My name is Daisy, and Anna, and Emery, and Hope, and Angela. I am their voice because I'm the only one who survived. I never met a single girl who wasn't violated in my years in foster care. You won't see statistics because too many are covered and hidden. They'll tell you it was always forbidden. But if you look close enough, the evil is there to uncover. Nothing about it will ever be fair. Innocence deprived completely from within. Each of these stories are mine and theirs. We share these experiences, though the most horrendous thing we would ever discover is that nobody cares.
Thank you, Daisy. Next, please welcome Joan Hawkins.
Okay, so I read part of this at for Sunday Prose. So Molly and Tony have heard part of it already. This is the first part of a longer piece called Learning to Drive. After my husband died, I found myself reading only books I'd already read. The plots weren't necessarily happy, and the books were not uplifting. I'd had my fill of uplift during the year that Skip was in treatment. All those inspirational, pink-tinged, cancer is a gift messages posted on the bulletin board in the chemo infusion center. They bothered me from the get-go and sent me to the web looking for anything that a former punk rocker or downtown artist had written about the disease or caretaker's survival. Something factual, a little cynical, something with edge. Because Skip's treatment was not designed with even the hope of remission. Given his age and the severity of the metastasis, the treatment goal was to prolong his life and maintain its quality as long as possible. Skip entered treatment knowing he was going to die. I had looked up the longevity predictions for stage 4B lung cancer, so I collaborated in his treatment knowing more or less when he would die. Still, his death, when it came, was a shock, as though I'd subconsciously believed that, like Sleeping Beauty, he wouldn't really die, just remain supine and unconscious in my living room for 100 years. So I wasn't looking for happy, uplifting endings when I started reading books whose plot I already knew. The mood of the story was not the point. The point, I think now, was to know how the story would end right from the beginning. No grand finale surprises. I'd had enough of those too. And what I needed in that first year of grieving was the feel of narrative control, of something like certainty. One book I reread several times that year was Katha Pollitt's Learning to Drive and Other Life Stories, a witty and often insightful series of linked pieces chronicling post-breakup life. The shadowy womanizer who walked out on the narrator taking kitchen whisks and spatulas with him reminded me more of my own ex, the man I left, than of Skip. But the title story spoke directly to my current situation. Like the narrator, I was in my 50s, at the end of a relationship, and learning to drive. And like the narrator, I found the process daunting. It was my friend Lori who took me out for my first lessons. She had come from New York to help me organize Skip's memorial and deal with the initial business of his death. Why does Comcast need a copy of the gift certificate? I don't remember how she initially got me behind the wheel. I just remember her telling me to go faster, 30 miles an hour, when just revving up to 10 made me feel like Mario Andretti at the Indy 500. When Lori left to go back home, another friend took over as chief driving instructor, but I was an anxious student, so I supplemented his lessons with formal driver's school training, driver's ed, a subject I'd spectacularly failed in high school. Weekly Sunday morning outings with an ex-CIA agent, the very buzz-cut and formal Chet, to be continued.
Thanks, Joan. Brian Price.
I almost knocked the speaker down. That would have been fun. Realized that I should have read this in the last August when you had all the confessional poems going on, and Nagasaki kept coming up. So this has Nagasaki in it. This is what I saw this summer. My father died this summer, and we had to take his ashes to the Shenandoah Mountains to spread them. And so I spent the most time I'd ever spent with my brother in 40 years. So you can take whatever that means. We scattered my father. The ashes landed on a caterpillar and some berries. The ashes filtered down through the mountain laurel and the vines. The ashes we'd hoped would mix with my mother's. On a ridge across the valley, above the drone of the interstate, there reads one of those historic marker signs. You know, it says, "The Confederates continued through the mountains on the winding Parkersburg Turnpike to McDowell, where they defeated the Federals on May 8, 1862, forcing them to retreat and relieving the threat to Stanton. Now poison ivy and kudzu draped over what's left of the breastworks. There's a cell tower up on the mountain. Doesn't help my reception. There's been a fire on the mountain. The photos don't do it justice. We crossed the Appalachian Trail. I didn't find enough time. I didn't make the time. We were gonna hike it together. I was an idiot. Should have done it. It's only 1,000 miles to Maine. We visited one of the 7 natural wonders of Virginia. There was a snake in the parking lot. When I was a little kid, my dad used to wonder, he used to say, what if they tried to nuke DC, and what if they missed and hit Baltimore? And the radioactive ash came raining down, but not quite on us, not quite yet. When my father hadn't had the time to get off work, get home, pack up the car, and drive me and my mother to the mountains, would we have been safe among the vines? We crossed back across the vast delay of Ohio, where the drones of the interstate and cicadas sounded the same. There were orange cones and a detour ahead. The flagman let us through. I wanted to be a flagman when I was a kid. Maybe someday I will be. I'd like to be a flagman. We went to the Air Force Museum in Dayton. The museum was spotless. You could have eaten off the floor. They had the plane that bombed Dresden. They had the plane that bombed Nagasaki. They had the plane that carpet bombed Vietnam. The vines have climbed up the cliff where my parents' ashes lay. The vines have spread over where the Civil War lays dormant. The vines will tear down the cell towers. The vines will pin my arms to my sides. The vines will pull down all the warplanes from the sky. Maybe then, when the bombs and the ashes mix like mud, we will have peace.
Thanks, Brian. Kira Hanger.
Hey, I'm Kira. Thanks for having me. I have short poems, not long ones. This first one is called God on Parade. Never pictured this one iteration, blinding beauty, keeping it easy and free. When you tried and couldn't burden me, did it feel free? Did it feel easy? Try my easy pants on for size. Try this inseam between your thighs. Run circles around me and watch me rise out of them and exercise. Can I do like one or two more?
Do a couple more if they're short, you know.
Yeah.
Do longer ones. So.
You're short. Okay, I wrote this one really recently, and I feel like you might enjoy it. It's called Southern Gothic. Southern Gothic. People capable of cruelty come from where I come from. Who would drown the bag of kittens? Who would take the dog out back and hold the lock and key so heavy in the chest? Who would say so over a plate of fried catfish? I'm here to colonize you with feeling. I'm here to sleep without fear and drag the body out unnamed and crowned with horns. I'll do one more. Okay, I'm gonna do one more that will be 30 seconds and then one that will be 10. We had courage we didn't know. Courage to eat a bleached breast because its flesh is white. Our eyes so simple in their looking. Our senses of smell a little dull. None of us had ever tasted a chicken as God intended. So we could have been aware on some level that we were cutting and peeling ourselves out of plastic. I experienced an animal confusion, portaling through primitive ancestors, the angles of these walls unfamiliar, the active olfactory searching for a dark freshness, a smell of microbial feeding. My animal ancestor portal become a screaming vacuum in a box without green or air. This is my last one, and I dedicate it to everyone here tonight. Thank you so much. Messengers, you drift too far from the shore. You fall, grace of a feather, into the world, sky muddled. You make strange sounds. You push too hard. You swim too deep.
Awesome, thank you, Kira. Anybody else? I think everyone here is read. I think everyone, yeah, I think you're all, thank you all. Thank you all for being here. I'm gonna bring Ricky Jean up to do a final song to send us home. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank our open mic folks for being here. Especially want to thank again our features, Jason Baldinger and Doug Rensberger, for being here tonight. And thank you all for being here. One more time, Ricky Jean.
This is kind of a weird fantasy of mine to actually read a poem in front of people without a guitar. Is that okay if I read a poem real quick?
Please do.
I wrote this a long time ago, and I have tried to turn it into a song, but it never did come out right. But it's called On Death Stars, and I've actually lost both my father and my sister to suicide, so that's kind of where this comes from. Out among the stars, dust particles abound, imploding over thousands of years. Round the moon's swoon, burners running out, belly full of clout. Baby takes first breath, small and sharp steps. Love in the land and the serenity. Peace can be sand and I can be running free. Blow the wind, no more to see. Fill the tide, come over thee. Rock the seas on universal planets. This earth can no longer contain me. It's like, man. My mom laughed at that. She's like an English major, and she was like, that's okay. But anyway, thank you for listening. I got one song.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
It's kind of about my sister and searching for something that's never find. It's called Howling at the Moon. She
more time, Ricky Jean, folks. Thanks again to everyone for being here. Be sure and join us next month, Thursday, October 9th. That is the Stormwash Environmental Anthology Showcase. We're going to have a bunch of folks who are publishing the Stormwash Anthology edited by Hiromi Yoshida. Right back here, Thursday, October 9th. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.